Welcome back to CBS This Morning. We are inside the beautiful Gilliard Center in Charleston, South Carolina. Just hours from now, the clock is ticking. This will be the scene of the next Democratic presidential debate, co-hosted by CBS News. With us now is my co-moderator for tonight's debate, CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor. That, of course, is, what's your name?
Norah.
Norah O'Donnell. I remember it well. And our colleagues who will join us for the questioning tonight, we got the A-team. They are 60 Minutes correspondent Bill Whitaker, Chief Washington correspondent, you are?
Major Garrett, that's right.
And Face the Nation moderator and senior foreign affairs correspondent, that's Margaret Brennan. Behind us, as you can see, 7 lecterns are all lined up. They're empty now, but tonight they will be the focus of the political world, and this room will be packed. These are the 7 candidates who will be not swearing off.
They might be swearing.
Yeah. What I was trying to say is squaring off, and the stakes could not be higher. 4 days from now, voters cast their ballots in the South Carolina primary with 54 delegates at stake there. And 1 week from today, we have Super Tuesday with, listen to this, more than 1,300 delegates up for grabs. Bernie Sanders leads in total delegates after winning in New Hampshire and Nevada. Another strong showing in South Carolina, followed by Super Tuesday wins, could make him extremely difficult to beat. They're already calling it, guys, a Sanders surge. Norah, let's begin there with you, because the latest CBS News poll from us found that the majority of voters think President Trump will win a second term. So what do you think that says about what voters are looking for tonight?
Well, I think tonight the gloves are going to come off. This is the final debate, not only before South Carolina, but you outlined it, Super Tuesday, which is the bonanza of delegates for them. Sanders is the front runner. Watch for everybody whose name does not end with Sanders to take him on tonight. Yes. Last night, feeling the pressure, Sanders for the first time outlined just how much all of his proposals cost, which are between $50 and $60 trillion.
And he just released it last night, yeah.
Yes, and he attempted to release a way of how he's going to pay for that, with new taxes, with lawsuits, with cuts to military programs. It's not clear yet that the math adds up, but it's more specific than he has been in the past, knowing that this is going to be the charge, that you cannot win with a Democratic socialist at the top of the ticket. That's the charge that these Democrats are going to make. That's why the CBS News poll reflects that right now, 65% of Americans think that President Trump will win re-election.
And also, we've been here since Friday, and many of the people, Margaret, have said they haven't made up their mind. 85%, it seems, are still waiting to see what's going to happen at this debate tonight. We have Super Tuesday coming up as well. When you think about that, what's at stake for all of the candidates here that will join us on stage?
For some of these candidates, survival. For others, momentum. Bernie Sanders in particular.
Because not everybody's going to make it after tonight, right?
That's right. And particularly when you look at some of the spending. You know, I interviewed Joe Biden over the weekend, and he highlighted in this state in particular, which he has seen as his firewall. He may not like the word, but that is it, the backstop to stop that slide. He has been outspent, and he has been outstaffed in South Carolina by billionaire Tom Steyer. He knows it's thinning out some of his support here, particularly among African-American voters who he is banking on to show up and solidify him as the alternative, the viable alternative to Bernie Sanders. So that's what tonight they're going to try to demonstrate, as Norah laid out. There will be a target on Bernie Sanders' back. There will also be one on Mike Bloomberg.
I think it's worth spending a moment to describe the dire situation for Vice President Biden. Look at the percentage difference in the first 3 contests. 11 points behind in Iowa from Bernie Sanders. Then he was behind more than that in New Hampshire, 17 points, and then Nevada, 26 points. That is a deeply negative trajectory. It's not as if Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden haven't been squaring off. Yes. They have been. And this is not the place the Biden campaign wanted to find itself in South Carolina. This is as close to a desperate situation for a vice president to be in. And firewall doesn't even begin to describe how tough the situation is for Vice President Biden. And it is similarly difficult if your name is Pete Buttigieg or Amy Klobuchar. Yes. Because you've got to figure out a way to differentiate yourself and make yourself the central, compelling alternative to Senator Sanders.
And that's Biden why started off in the fall with, he was an overwhelming lead here. And he's watched that lead shrink and shrink and shrink. The voters here who were behind him in the beginning have seen his lackluster showing in the early caucuses and the New Hampshire primary, and they're paying attention like everybody else. And Biden slowly has seen his support here, his black support here, drip away to
exactly,
to
Bill.
Sanders
And this will be the first
Stiers.
primary where we see a significant black electorate who are turning out, who say that they will be turning out. Yeah, 60%, which of course is a majority. How significant is the black vote here tonight? We are partnering with the Congressional Black Caucus on this debate.
The black vote here is the race. As you were saying, in general, in primaries across the country, Democratic primaries across the country, the black vote is about a quarter of the electorate. Here, it's 60%. You cannot win in South Carolina without winning the black vote.
And as you reported, Joe Biden will have the endorsement of James Clyburn, the kingmaker in this state, the longest serving and most popular African-American leader in this state. We'll see if that makes a difference for him. But I think what you're going to see tonight is an ideological fight for the heart and soul of the Democratic Party. Whether you want a Democratic socialist, then Senator Warren, or someone who is a Bloomberg, more Wall Street Democrat who in the past has been a Republican. And that's going to be the fight. How much do we want to spend? How many social programs will the Democratic Party provide, and will they be paid for by additional taxes? I think this is going to be so full of substance because there are issues where many of the Democrats who are running against Bernie Sanders have said in my talking to their campaigns, they do not believe that his record has been fully examined, even though he's run for president before against Hillary
And Bernie
Clinton.
Sanders may have some explaining to do with his latest comments where he was talking about Fidel Castro, and he's doubled down on those comments as we go into this debate tonight.
Well, he not only doubled down on them, then he invoked China to defend his comments about
And
Castro.
he's gone to war with AIPAC, the American Israel Committee, a lobbying arm. So he has thrown a few bombs, so to speak, politically, that he will certainly be pressed on tonight. But in some ways, what I'm looking for here, too, is because we're at such a critical moment, these candidates have to start presenting what their vision is versus just saying, I'm running against the guy who's got the job right now. They've been running against President Trump and saying, I will be better. Defining exactly what that vision for what they're selling to the American people is where we're going to start seeing them try to nudge out tonight.
I think it might be especially crucial for Elizabeth Warren. I mean, this is a big night for her. I mean, she started off sort of gangbusters, but again, as with Biden, she's had a lackluster performance in these early races. And this is the place where she has to pull herself out of the pack. She's got to.
The relevant analogy for Elizabeth Warren is she built her campaign steadily from April through October, and then what happened? When she started to get deeply specific on the numbers of Medicare for All, there was a reappraisal. We are now seeing Bernie Sanders for the very first time starting to get specific about his numbers. Will that provoke the same kind of reappraisal that damaged Elizabeth Warren? Also, a week ago, what was everyone talking about? We've barely mentioned him tonight.
I know.
Mike Bloomberg.
I know.
That shows you how rapidly things turn around in politics. One bad debate performance can make you an almost also ran. He has got to have a better debate performance tonight to make a better first impression the second time around. Almost impossible in politics.
That's why he has been off the campaign trail, behind closed doors, preparing Mike Bloomberg for this very debate
they say
tonight.
that he will be ready. There is a lot to watch tonight, and we will all be there guiding you through. Norah, Bill, Major, and Margaret, we thank you. Norah and I, as you know, will moderate tonight's Democratic presidential debate, co-hosted by CBS News. Margaret, Major, and Bill will join us again this evening. The debate, by the way, is co-hosted by the Congressional Black Caucus Institute and the Democratic National Committee. You can see that debate tonight at 8 Eastern. I love that it's an hour earlier, 7 Central, right here on CBS and CBSN. Now let's go back to Anthony and Tony in New York.
Yes, us morning folk will get a little more sleep. Gayle, thank you.